Hi fam, Happy New Year. And this is for the whole entire digital family, all of you guys who have been supporting us, who have been, engaging with us on daily basis. And I suppose that you and your entire family, real family, are doing good, family and friends. So here we are, 2026 again. And look at the headline on the Daily Nation. So the work that we are going to do this year and next year before election is to look into some things that are concerning this country so that we can all be enlightened. This is the reason for this digital advocacy, because I call this digital advocacy where we air our voices, we exchange notes, and we try to enlighten each other to understand things better than they look on the surface. So, looking at this new police unit that has been created by the government to spy on us, let's look at this issue really deeper because things are not becoming lighter as we approach 2027, especially in this region of East Africa where democracy is walking really thin shell. If you look at the way things are being done in this region of East Africa, that is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, these countries are slowly learning from each other. And they're not learning on how to improve governance. They're not learning on how to take us to Singapore. They're not learning on how to eradicate poverty. They're not learning from each other on how to improve and develop East Africa. No, they're not doing that. They're learning on how to silence people like us, people like you, who are criticizing the government and asking the real question, asking where is the money. They are learning on how to do all these things while they are calling it democracy. You understand the term democracy. At some point, I tend to think that in Africa, we misuse the term democracy because tell me what is so democratic about the government creating units that are meant to suppress the dissent or silence them. Tell me what's so democratic about the government sending police units simply because I ask tough questions, simply because we take this leadership through tough scrutiny. What is so democratic about that? It tells you that these countries in East Africa being led by, I don't know if it's Tanzania or we are going to use the Tanzanian's blueprint or we are going to use the Kenyan blueprint that happened from June 25th when we lost a lot of young people in Kenya, or we are going to use the Uganda 40-year blueprint. These are just same blueprint but different flags. When you look at it, it looks like this region is merging into one unit. Whatever happened in Tanzania early last year, around October, was it October 29th when they had their general election? That blueprint, I'm pretty sure. And if I'm not sure, it's not that I want what is bad for our country, but I'm looking at it. If Kenya is already forming a unit that is meant to spy on us, spy on people who are criticizing the government for bad governance, bad leadership, corruption, and impunity, instead of looking at real criminal. I'm not saying that, or I'm not trying to dismiss that we do not have real cyber crimes, or we do not have real criminal activities happening online. They are there. But tell me this whole timing, the whole, time frames with the 2027 elections, because we have been having laws that are meant to curb the cyber crimes and all that. Remember, we talked about this one last year. So what is this new unit supposed to do? Tell me. Let's just think as, logical thinking without putting in emotions. What is the new unit meant to do if it's not timely to try and silence people who are, criticizing the government? If it's not for them to, monitor the people who are, propelling the better narratives for the government, and those who are not, or those who are anti-government, then they'll be suppressed. This is what I'm looking at it, but remember, it's just an opinion. But even if we say that I'm wrong, which I could be, as I said, The timing of this new police unit matters a lot. Because on paper, like we've seen on the Daily Nation, a digital police unit looks nice, sounds cool, sounds like a modern kind of a thing, sounds like Road to Singapore, right? And I'm not trying to say that cybercrime doesn't exist. It's there. And we need to find measures of curbing real criminals and cybercrime and all that. But in a country where critics are intimidated, in a country where dissents are silenced, in a country where laws and court orders are selectively respected, then creating a digital police unit that is meant to monitor online speeches, it's not going to be neutral. It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous, and you know that. Because if previously, without even, this new unit that is legalized, they used to send Subaru boys. They have intimidated people. We have seen people dying in police cells. Now imagine where these people are given a budget. Imagine where now it's put as a law. Now, are you trying to see what I'm trying to see here? Because there's going to be a blurred line between crime and criticism. Imagine a system that is going to watch over everything. And they're going to come with a strategy of rebranding criticism as security threat, or whatever they call it, national threat, security threat. When they do that, that is not the plan of killing free speech loudly. That is the plan of silencing or choking free speech quietly. And now putting another factor into this whole scenario, 2027 is just around the corner. You can't convince me on this. Especially where, these online platforms is where we can question power, is where we can organize, is where we can question about accountability, is where we can hold leaders accountable for, the work that they were given to do. And then you tell me that they are going to expand their surveillance in this exact moment. Then I can ask the right questions. Is this government planning to protect its citizens, or they just want to protect power? Because there's one thing that I always say, that, and it's not with this Ruto government, it has not been in Uhuru's government. A strong government does not need, to protect its power, and does not need to respond to criticism. What they need to do, or to respond to criticism, is through policies and performance. Let them just do things to prove to us that we are wrong. But if you see us talking about the government and then Ruto's there on the podium trying to respond to us, then you ask questions. Is this a strong government? Is this a genius leader, as you say that he is, or the previous ones? It's time that we look at these matters deeply. It's time we get to understand. It's time we get to look into these issues with different lenses, because if we don't do that, then we will be in darkness. And as I've said, 2027 is just around the corner.